Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tinfoil Hat Club, the only show on the internet whose sole purpose is to piss you off. To piss you off at local government, to piss you off at state government, to piss you off at the federal government, to piss you off at all of them to the point you will get off your butts and take action. So hang around, folks, because here we go. Hello, folks. I'm going to give y'all a break today. I'm going to be ranting and raving like usual, but I'm not going to raise hell with y'all to call your Congress critters. Fact is, I'm not going to ask y'all to do a damn thing, except think. I want to know something. Were y'all watching the breaking news a few weeks ago on the night of Friday, April 19th? Did y'all see what was happening in Boston and Watertown, Massachusetts? Do you know what the things you were watching meant? Do you know what all of that search thing on April 19th, do you know what that meant? More importantly, do you give a damn what that meant? What happened on April 19th in Massachusetts was not the capturing of a 19-year-old terrorist. It was the death of America. On April 19th, 2013, America died. While you folks are listening to me for the next few minutes, I want you to do something. I want you to be paying attention to those images that are in this video, and I want you to ask yourself a question. Look at those images and tell me, does this really look like America? Does this really look like the land of the free and the home of the brave? Does it? Or are you like me? Do you think that it looks like what you would expect to see in Afghanistan or Iraq? Or maybe it looks like what some South American tin-horn dictator would do using his dictatorial powers and his military against the citizens. And yeah, I did say against the citizens. What happened in Massachusetts on April 19th was not a search for a terrorist. It was a test of the American people. It was a test, an intentional test, to see what people value more, freedom or security. It was a test of the American people's reaction to the total abrogation of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It was a test to see how compliant citizens would be in the face of the imposition of de facto martial law, because that's exactly what happened in Boston. The Constitution was suspended. The Bill of Rights was suspended. Martial law was imposed. And how did the people react to that little test? How did the people react to the suspension of the Constitution and the rule of law? They failed miserably. They showed themselves to be sheep, slaves, not free people. Not only did they do it willingly, they did it gladly. Did you see the pictures? The Massachusetts governor and the Boston mayor and the police had praise heaped upon them by the people for what they did. But what did they do? To hear the Massachusetts governor and the mayor of Boston talk, they simply conducted a search for dangerous terrorists and took appropriate measures to safeguard the safety of the citizens. Matter of fact, I heard the governor of Massachusetts thank the citizens for complying with their request to stay off the streets. The problem with that is the mayor and the governor are damn liars. To start with, there was no request that people stay off the streets. People were ordered, I said ordered, to stay in their homes behind locked doors. They were told they weren't even allowed to come out on their porches, and there are reports that people were arrested on their own property for not staying inside their homes. Businesses were not requested to stay closed. They were ordered to stay closed under threat of losing their business licenses. Boston and that whole area around there, Boston, Watertown, that whole area was essentially shut down. All public transportation was closed. No one was allowed on the streets except by the approval of their paramilitary Gestapo police force. Had to have their permission to come out of your house. Then the searches started. Teams of 5 to 10 heavily armed government agents went door to door, forcing people to open up their homes to these government agents, with no probable cause and no warrant, with nothing but a threat against their physical safety by this armed Gestapo that looked more like combat troops in Afghanistan than like police officers. Those Gestapo police officers ordered the residents of homes at gunpoint to put their hands on top of their heads, and they were frisked. This happened with no probable cause and no warrant, in their own homes, on their own front porches. They were then told to walk a block away down the street to a checkpoint where with their hands still on top of their heads, and they were searched again and prevented from going back to their homes, the homes that the Gestapo was searching without probable cause, searching without a warrant. Only then, after they had been removed from their homes at gunpoint, searched for no reason, sent away from their homes while the homes were being searched, being frisked again at that checkpoint, only then were they allowed to return home, where they were told. They were told, they were not asked, to stay inside until they were allowed to leave. Until they had the government's permission to leave their own homes. Did y'all know that there's a recent poll out from Farley Dickinson University? It shows that 29% of Americans believe an armed revolt will be necessary in the next few years because of an overbearing, oppressive government. 29% of Americans, by the way, that's a higher percentage than wanted the American Revolution in 1776. 29% of Americans, almost a third, fear government more than they fear terrorism. A third of you fear your government. And you do what? I'll tell you what you do. You don't do a damn thing. You sit on your asses and can't even be bothered to make a phone call to your congressman. Hell, most of you don't even know who your congressman is. You're up on whoever won American Idol this year. You're up on how your favorite NFL or college football team does, aren't you? You know what's going on in Major League Baseball. Hell, you probably know which horse won the Kentucky Derby day before yesterday. A lot of you are really familiar with Duck Dynasty, but you don't have a clue who your congressman is. You aren't just sheep, you are worthless sheep. If you can't be bothered to make a phone call to your congressman, you are just as worthless as your congressman is. So that's about where we are, folks. The government just got a practice run at martial law, and the public welcomed it. You just got a first-hand look at the government ignoring the Second and Fourth Amendments at least, and probably more. And you didn't give a damn. One of the founding fathers of this country, Samuel Adams, talked about you people. Yeah. 200 some odd years ago, he talked about you people. You know what he said? Quote, "If you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or your arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains rest lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen." Unquote. Now some of you would protest that you don't love wealth better than liberty, that you only seek for your families and yourself to be safe, and are willing to have the government do that. You're willing to let the government make you safe. For you folks, I also have a quote. It's from Benjamin Franklin. Quote, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Unquote. And you need to understand that from a tyrannical government, any safety would indeed be temporary. So go ahead, sheep. Wear those chains of slavery lightly. Frankly, right now, I don't give a damn what any of you do. Right now, I don't give a damn if y'all come back to my blog or YouTube channel or not. I don't make anything off of them. I don't have them to make anything. And right now, you people have me so pissed off, I don't give a damn if you come back or not. So I'm done for this week. I might be done for good. We'll just have to see if I feel like doing another show next week. But right now, it's not looking good. So y'all go on. I don't care if you have a good week or not. Hell, I'm not even going to bother to remind you to always tell any government official you come in contact with that he works for you, that you don't work for him. I'm not even going to bother to tell you that. As long as you people want to stay sheep, you work for them anyway. See y'all next week, maybe. Maybe not.